Okay, Alex Gorov here, and this is the video that I'm probably the most excited about. Because in this video, I will be talking about superpowers test. And this is something that changed my life, and it also changed the lives of several of my friends. And let me just bring you back to some of my history. About 3 years ago, back in December, I came back from work and I was so exhausted. I hated my life because my job, it was great, but I did not love it. I just hated what I did there and it was boring. I didn't want to go there, and because of that, I didn't want to get out of bed because I once I wake up, I have to go to work, and that was like a nightmare. And after I was coming back from work, I was completely exhausted. I didn't want to see my friends. I didn't want to do anything. All I wanted to do is just to go to bed and sleep. That's it. I could not push myself out of my apartment to do something that I was excited about, to do any hobbies, to go to gym. No energy. Just completely, I can call myself not alive there. And at some December night, I realized it was too much pain. So I decided to change it. I didn't want to live like that. I wanted energy. I wanted to be excited. I wanted to be full of myself, just to be who I am. And I was not at that point, obviously, yet. So I sat down and I did this test. And I call it superpowers test because I love this word superpowers. It's actually something that I came up with back 3 years ago, and I'm not sure if similar test exists online. And then I showed this test to a few of my friends, and it changed their lives. And back there, 3 years ago, this one single test, it introduced so many changes in my life. So today, I'm completely excited about what I do. I enjoy my life. I sleep much less because I can't wait to get out of bed. And I love what I do. I'm actually very excited and passionate about what I do. And past 3 years of my life created many more memories in my life than 30 years before that. Because now I actually enjoy my life. So enough talking about that, and let's just get to the test itself. Let me show you what I did. And the test itself, here is it. The test itself, it helped me determine what I should do in life. And this is the test. This is how it looks like, and hopefully in a few hours you will create something like that. It has 4 different sections. You basically take a piece of paper, divide it into 4 squares or rectangles, and in the left square you put superpowers, then in right top one you put your passions, then bottom left pain points, and options in the bottom right. So let's start with superpowers. In here, you need to list out something that you're really good at, something that you can do your best, something that you can do in such a way that other people usually cannot do, something that you're really good at. Then the next square is your passions, something that you're passionate about. Well, actually, yeah, let's do it this way. I'll go through each rectangle first, and then I will dive deeper into those items that I came up with. So the next one is passions, something that you're passionate about. The next one is pain points, something that you don't like, something that keeps you in pain. And finally, options. These are the options of what you can do. And we will go about that into more details when I discuss my example. So this is exactly what I wrote there. This is exactly what changed my life. So superpowers. Obviously, this is something that you are good at. In my case, I know that I'm good at analyzing things. I'm quite logical person. Then I'm good at emotional intelligence. I can recognize people's emotions, and I can I can work with that. Then the next one, I do believe that I'm good at inspiring people. So I think I can lead people, and I think I can get them motivated to do what they should do. The next one is I think I'm good at organizing things. I love implementing projects, and I love just getting things together to make things happen. So those are my superpowers. And by the way, uh, when you do this test, list out 3 to 5 things. There is no reason to list out like 10 and above, more than 10 items. If you have more than 10, just list out top 5. And the same for every section. Every section, but maybe options. If you have more options, that's great. Okay, the next one, passions. I'm really passionate about helping people. This is something I live for, and this is related to legacy that I want to leave after myself. Then I am also passionate about traveling. I cannot live without traveling for longer than 3 months. Then I'm also passionate about spontaneous adventures. The spontaneous part is just the part of my life. I love to wake up and not know where I'm going to end up is at. I can just rent a car and drive somewhere. I can invite my friends and have a party. I can just book a flight and fly somewhere. I love this kind of stuff. This I do believe that life is as long as much you can remember. And creating memorable moments in life is very important for me. And this is something that I love doing, and this usually happens spontaneously. So the next one is adrenaline. I yeah, I love doing some crazy stuff. Jumping off the bridge, skydiving, that kind of stuff. This is something that drives me, and I want to have that in my life. Okay, let's move on to the pain points. The biggest pain point for me is routine. I just cannot handle routine for a very long time. Well, I cannot handle it at all. Then I should not probably calling it stupid people, but I just wanted to be honest and open with you and give you exactly the test that I came up with. I do, well, stupid people do give me pain, especially when I work with them. Uh, I love working with smart people. This is like something that I'm passionate about. But when I have to deal with someone who is not as bright, then it's quite a challenge for me. And I try to stay away from these kind of challenges. Okay, the next one is to be dependent on someone. On the other hand, I can put it in such a way that I love freedom, and it's quite painful for me to be dependent on someone. And don't get me wrong, I do want to rely on people and assemble teams and do projects together, but I don't like being 100% completely dependent on someone. If there is a person that I'm dependent on, I at least want to have a backup plan, so I'm not dependent on that person, but I rely on that person. But if that person fails, I still have a plan B to keep the things going. Hope it's clear. Okay, the final section, you list out all the options of what you have. You need to think about what you can do in life. I listed out different types of activities. You can list out different jobs that you might have. For example, if you work as an accountant and your other opportunities is to work as a, I don't know, nurse, or maybe to work as a teacher or someone else. Just you guess it. You know better what kind of dream jobs you have. Then you list out all the options here. Here are my options. The first one is corporate job, and this is something that I had at that time. Then the second one is a startup. That's what I mean by startup. It's an online startup when you develop some web service for a year or even longer, and then you get some investments, you start marketing that product, and hopefully 2 to 3 years later you start making money on that. Eventually you IPO and you make money. Well, Facebook is a good example of a startup. At some point, Mark Zuckerberg created a startup. He just created a website, and he was slowly growing. Well, I cannot say slowly, actually. He grew very fast, but he was growing his startup in that manner. Then the next option that he came up with is micro projects. And micro projects are small businesses. It's like startups. So I create something online, but the criteria of a micro project is that it should be implementable within a month, and it should start generating profit for me in a month. So those are really smaller projects that I can do. Oh, by the way, I skipped investing. My bad. Investing was something that I was passionate about, and I still am. And by investing, I mean investing in the stock market mainly. I did invest into the stock market for quite a long time. I don't do that right now, but by that time, this is something that I was considering that I was doing. And I'm going to get back to that later on. And this is a great opportunity, which I just postponed, and I'm going to come back to. And the final one is offline business. Offline business is a business that happens offline. As simple as that. An example of offline business is some grocery store, for example, or barber shop. Something that you have to create physically. You have to rent an office, and you have to either create a service or bring some goods and start selling that. That's an offline business. Once you list out all the options, then you have to draw a rectangle on the right side, and you see all those rectangles here for each option, and then you have to start filling in each rectangle. And you probably notice that I have colors for each of those sections. For example, superpowers are green, passions are orange, then pain points are red, and options doesn't matter which color that is. But point is that in those rectangles, you start filling in of how much each of these 3 rectangles participate in that option. For example, corporate job. In corporate job, there was a lot of pain points. That's why there is a lot of red in there. And it was a lot of routine. They were smart and bright people that I enjoyed working there. But on the other hand, I still had to work with not as bright people as I expected. Then I had to depend on a lot of people there. That was a lot of pain for me. So all 3 contributed to the corporate job, and that's why there is so much red in there. Then you color how much your superpowers are present in that option in corporate job for me. So in corporate job, I would say I had access to analyzing things, so that's great. I had access to applying emotional intelligence. It wasn't that much, but I had that access. And based on that, I had a little bit of superpowers that participated in corporate job. And by that time, I was just analyzing my existing corporate job, but I could analyze like generic corporate job or specific profession. I chose to analyze my existing corporate job. That's why I allocated colors in such a way. For example, if I was analyzing some other corporate job, maybe the colors allocation would be different. Anyway, and then the final piece is you check how much passions participate in that opportunity. For me, it was corporate job. So with corporate job, I could not do things that I was passionate about. I could do that a little bit. I had like a couple of weeks of vacation time, so I could travel a little bit. I cannot say that I had a lot of opportunities to help people there. And spontaneous adventures did not exist because I had to book my vacation in advance. As well, adrenaline was present in some way because I still could do that on the weekends. So I put a little bit orange in there. But mostly, and again, how much you color red, orange, and green, that's totally up to you, objective, how you feel. So you split that rectangle in 3 sections, and then you go like, okay, so I have like 70% of that is going to be my pain points, 20% superpowers, and 10% passions. So it's completely up to you how you going to split that. But that was my corporate job. Then I did the same with a startup. So startup had a lot of green because I would be analyzing a lot. I would be using emotional intelligence. I would be inspiring people because I would have to hire people. And I definitely would be organizing things. So there's quite a bit of green stuff. And it is very important to have your superpowers in that option because this is something that you're good at. And if you're successful in what you do, then this is going to create a lot of energy and excitement around that. So that's why it's important. Then passions, I fitted much more passions in there than in corporate job. That's because startup would give me more freedom and I would be able to help people because I choose which startup I will be working on. And in that case, I could come up with an idea that is helpful for people in its core. So by doing that startup, I would already be helping people. And as well, I would still be able to travel more because basically startup is a business, and if I own this business, then I decide for myself when I take vacation. And spontaneous adventures and adrenaline would also be present in there. I did not feel that rectangle completely because I felt that it's just all these 3 segments would not fill the whole capacity the same way as, for example, corporate job. That's why I left a little bit of white here, and that's just unfilled part. Then I had investing. Investing is actually a good one. So a lot of green and a lot of orange. So a lot of my superpowers and a lot of my passion. And investing is something that I should be considering doing. Well, let's analyze that at the end. So investing is great. By the way, what we are looking for is those opportunities, those options that have orange and green. And investing is a perfect opportunity. Obviously, in investing, I would be analyzing a lot. I would be analyzing people's emotions. I would be inspiring people and organizing things. All of that would be present in there. And as well, passions. The reason why I have so much about passions here is because I can do investing from anywhere in the world. That gives me a complete freedom. I just don't have to be present anywhere. I can go to Bali, I can go to Thailand, I can travel around the world and keep investing because all I need to do investing is my laptop. That's it. That's why my passions are so present in there. And when I have freedom, I can choose to help people. I can travel. I can do spontaneous things. I can do adrenaline things. That's amazing. And there was zero routine there. There was zero stupid people and not much dependencies, not many dependencies in there. The next one is micro projects. I already explained what that is. And micro projects, similarly to investing, it would give me a lot of freedom to do what I'm passionate about, as well as I applied there my superpowers. And the final one is offline business. It has a little bit of red, but that's because I would have to be attached to some physical place, and there would be more dependencies in there. More dependencies, and I believe that offline business would generate more routine work. I still choose what people I would work with, so I would hire the brightest people, intelligent ones, but there still would be some routine work and dependence on some other people. That's in a nutshell how you feel this whole thing, and what I did that time. So based on this um, whole test, I have 5 options, and now I need to choose those options that have the most of green and orange color. And you can, by looking at this, you can obviously say that 2 winners are investing in micro projects. And I actually did the interesting thing there. I created a micro project that was about investing. That was really fun. And by the way, I'm gonna tell you what happened there after that December. I did not quit my job immediately because I still had to save some money and I had to pay bills. So it took me several months to actually save some money and get prepared for quitting job. And then several months later, that day finally arrived, and I still remember that day. It was amazing. I do celebrate that day as a holiday. And I just came to my manager and said, "That's it. I'm leaving." And that was the game changer. So when I did that, I saved some money and I started working on my micro project that was about investing. And the sad thing is that I failed initially, but I failed quickly, and I started working on some other micro projects, and those micro projects turned out to be success, and then I expanded them, and I was launching one micro project after another. Some micro projects failed, some of them succeeded, and this way I was able to build a successful business and give myself freedom. And now I have a team that's helping me to just make a difference in the world, and that team is helping me to run my business. And I'm so excited and I'm so happy about what I do. You can't imagine. And all of that came into my life 3 years ago in December when I did this test, which is now available to you. So here's an exercise for you. You obviously already know what to do. Just take a piece of paper, divide it into 4 sections, put superpowers in one section, passions in another, pain points in the third one, and finally allocate one section for options. And for the options, think of what you can potentially do. And remember, anything is possible. Whatever you want to do in life is possible. And don't tell me that your job pays your bills. Absolutely anything you want to do in life, you can achieve. And that's great. You just need to set a goal in life, decide what you need to do to get there, and work hard on getting there. That's it. That's the secret. And then once you list out options, you color those bars, and then you pick those opportunities which fit best your superpowers and passions and contain less of your pain points. And this is what you should do in life. This is something that you will be excited about. This is something that will allow you to work on passionate stuff, something that you love. And this eventually will give you a life of your dream, and you won't believe, but a lot of energy. I hope this helps, and I wish you luck with this test, and I hope that it will change your life the same way it did with me.